State, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. True bill of indictment in the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, the grand jury of Bexar County, state of Texas, duly organized and paneled and sworn as such at the January term AD 2024 of the 399th Judicial Court of said county and said court at said term to present in and to said court in the county and state of aforesaid and anterior to the presentment of this indictment, that on or about the 20th day of August 2023, Mariano D. Rendon, hereinafter referred to as defendant, then intentionally, knowingly, and recklessly caused bodily injury to Pablo Rodriguez Salazar, hereinafter referred to as the complainant, by striking the complainant with his hand and striking and pushing the complainant with his knee against the peace and dignity of the state, signed foreman of the grand jury.
All right, to that, how do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may be seated. State, do you have any opening statements?
Yes, sir. On August 19th of 2023, Pablo Rodriguez's life was changed and he sustained lasting effects from what happened to him. August 19th was Pablo's birthday, and him and his family decided that they were going to celebrate his birthday. So they go out, they have a family dinner, and you're going to learn that Pablo loves dancing. And for his birthday, Pablo wanted to celebrate and go dance. So he decided that him and his partner, Tina, were going to go to El Volcan. It's formerly known as Joe's Volcano. It's located on Ingram Road here in Bexar County, Texas. Tina and Pablo arrive at Volcan and they get there around 11 a.m. They get there, they're dancing, they're having a good time, and they run into some of their family members, Carlos and Esperanza. They're there until the last call, which is around 2 a.m. And at 2 a.m., security guards that are employed at Volcan start going around with a trash can and telling everyone, you need to throw your beers away. You're going to learn that the defendant in this case, Mariano Rendon, that man over there, he's the owner of El Volcan. And the security guards go around and they get to Pablo. And Pablo did have a beer. And the security guard tells him, hey, it's last call, you need to throw your beer away. Pablo decides to take one last swig of his drink, and then he throws it in the trash can. That set into motion events on that night that should have never occurred. The security guard, Tina will describe to you, you're going to hear from Tina, and she's going to tell you that when Pablo discarded the beer bottle, that changed the security guard's demeanor. And it put fear in her, and she got between the security guard and Pablo and said, hey, let's just calm things down. And the security guard grabbed her, and then the security guard grabbed Pablo and slammed him to the ground. Pablo's laying on the ground, and this defendant, Mr. Rendon, walks over. He has no idea what's going on at the time. He walks over and drops his knees into Pablo's side. Due to those actions, Pablo sustained severe intestinal injury. He had to go to the hospital, though he didn't go that night. He went a couple of days later. He was admitted to the hospital because when he got home, he was throwing up and he was under a lot of pain. Once he was at the hospital, he had to have 2 intestinal surgeries, and you're going to hear evidence regarding that. Ladies and gentlemen, the force that was exhibited by the defendant in this case was excessive. It was not immediately necessary, and we are going to ask you that once you view all of the evidence that you find him guilty of the offense of aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury. Thank you.
All right, defense, any opening statements?
May it please the court, counsel. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to hear 2 versions of what happened it's actually in the early morning hours of August 20th. It's just, they arrived on August 19th and goes into the early morning hours, and you'll hear that at last call, which is the time when the Texas Alcohol Beverage Commission mandates that all people stop drinking at that time, that there's no more alcohol consumption on the premises. And this is oftentimes a kind of a contentious time in the life of a bar. So in El Volcan or Joe's Volcano, my client Mariano Rendon, it's owned by his wife, and he's there also always assisting her in the operation of the business. And what you're going to hear is that this is always kind of a stressful time because you have people that have been drinking and want to continue drinking, but they have strict mandates by the state that all drinking be cut off at 2 o'clock in the morning and that stop. During this period of time, security guards are going around the bar. They're collecting any drinks that are not finished being consumed, and they're having them thrown into the trash. And you're going to hear a totally different version of the events from the event that I imagine you're going to hear from Pablo Rodriguez and Tina Jimenez. And that is that during this confrontation, Mr. Rodriguez is asked repeatedly to give his beer up to the security guards. He refuses to do that. There's a dispute about who took the beer or threw the beer into the trash can. But regardless, Mr. Rodriguez grabbed Mr. Cochran and they began to struggle. And a kind of a lengthy struggle ensued. And during this is not the only people involved. So Tina Jimenez and other family members and groups of that party are struggling with the security guards there on the floor of El Volcan. And during this time, Mr. Rendon comes out to try to assist because this is actually creating quite a disturbance. You're probably going to see some video in this trial that's just going to show the last part of it. It's not going to show this initial part of what happened, which is unfortunate. But during this period of time, it's a loud dance club. There's lights going off, all kinds of visual effects going off. There's music being played, Tejano bars. There's a lot of Tejano type music being played. And there's this huge struggle going on. And this is something that obviously Mr. Rendon as an operator is concerned about because he wants his guests to have a pleasant and safe experience. Unfortunately, when you're operating a club like this, you'll hear that part of it is dealing with people that are intoxicated. And during this assault, it's a sustained assault. And it's actually more than an assault, it becomes a robbery. And the way it becomes a robbery is Anthony Cochran is dressed in his security uniform. He's a uniformed officer. He has a firearm on his side and he has a radio. And you'll hear that Pablo Rodriguez and his group actually steal the radio off of Anthony Cochran. Not only do they steal it off of his person, they actually leave the premises with the radio. And I expect you'll hear some testimony about that. So it's not just, it is actually a felony assault where Mr. Pablo Rodriguez is assaulting Anthony Cochran, a security officer, which makes it a felony. During the commission of that felony, Mr. Rodriguez and his group, acting together, steal the radio off of Anthony Cochran and leave the premises with that radio, which is the property of El Volcan. During this period of time, Mariano Rendon comes down. There's several people all around this area of the dance floor. And at some point, Anthony Cochran gets Mr. Rodriguez on the ground. And for those of you who may be familiar with UFC or that kind of thing or jiu-jitsu, he's actually got him in kind of a side mount where his body's off to the side and Mr. Rodriguez's body is here. During this time, Tina Jimenez, other family members and onlookers are pushing, pulling, and scratching at people. And Mr. Rendon is trying to keep them off of Anthony Cochran, who he's very concerned about because he has a loaded firearm on his person. And if that firearm is it gets into the custody of Mr. Rodriguez, there's a potential for immense danger to Mr. Cochran, Mr. Rendon, and all the other patrons in the bar. So during this time, as he's trying to assist him, they're trying to get him calmed down. He reaches over and drops his knee onto the stomach of Mr. Rodriguez. Okay. Whether that caused the injuries, that is to be determined. That we'll hear, I'm sure, some testimony about that. But he then later presents with injury. Now, be it known that that night, police officers respond to El Volcan and they arrested no one. They saw the video, saw what they needed to see, talked to everybody, and arrested no one. Because what happened is Mr. Rendon, Mr. Cochran were defending themselves. They were doing their, Mr. Cochran is doing his job as a security officer, trying to get Mr. Rodriguez out of the bar and stop assaulting people. Mr. Rendon's purpose in doing this, you'll hear, was to defend himself, defend Mr. Cochran and the defendant patrons in the bar. It's an unfortunate thing that had to happen, but that thing that happened was Mr. Rodriguez's doing. Thank you.
All right, state, call your first witness.
Judge, we'd like to invoke the rule, but the state calls Officer Soto.
All right, are there any witnesses?
The only witness I have, Judge, is I have Miss Rendon, but she's not a witness
All right, if
on.
y'all can come forward, please.
Yeah.
It's been invoked. What that means is other witnesses are not allowed to be in the courtroom while other witnesses are testifying. There's been an exception with Mr. Rendon's wife. The state and the defense have both agreed that they would not be calling her as a witness during this part of the trial. All right. All right, state, call your first witness.
State calls Officer Mark Soto.
And if you'll raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, thank you. You can have a seat. Make sure you keep your voice up so that members of the jury can hear. And if you'll state your name for the record, please.
Mark Soto.
All right, off the record for 1 moment. Well, to the members of the jury, I don't recommend that you take notes during the trial. And the reason why I don't recommend that is because you're not allowed to discuss any notes that you have with the jury during deliberation. The official record is the record of the court reporter. All right. We're back on the record. State, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Officer Soto, how are you currently employed?
As a patrol officer with the San Antonio Police Department,
And how long have you been with the San Antonio Police Department?
almost 5 years.
As a patrol officer, what side of town do you work on?
The Northwest Service Center,
Okay. And as what type of training and experience did you undergo to become a police officer?
we went through the San Antonio Police Academy, which is 8 months of penal code, CCP, arrest, search and seizure, firearms training, driving, tactics, and fighting.
Okay. And then after the academy, is there a period of time where you're with a training officer in the field?
Yes.
Okay, and about how long is that?
3 months with 3 different FTOs and then 2 weeks of evaluations with 2 different FTOs.
Okay. And as a patrol officer with SAPD, are you a certified peace officer?
Yes.
Okay, and as a patrol officer, what are your duties with the police department?
Mostly responding to 911 calls and calls for service.
Okay. Now I want to turn your attention to August 22nd of 2023. Were you employed as a police officer with the San Antonio Police Department on that day?
Yes.
And do you recall, was your title and assignment the same on that day?
Police officer.
Okay, and were you still at the northwest side of town?
Yes, on
Okay.
patrol.
All right. And were you assigned to a call under SAPD 23-18-75-88?
Yes.
Okay. Now on that day, were you in a uniform?
Yes.
Okay, and were you in a marked patrol unit?
Yes.
And were you dispatched? Well, did you write a report under that case number?
Yes.
Okay, would it help you refresh your memory if you had a copy of that?
Yes.
I'm showing you what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this a fair and accurate report that you wrote back in August of 2023?
Yes.
And have you reviewed it?
Yes.
And is it in the same form? It hasn't been altered in any way, is that correct?
No.
Okay. Now you can use that to refresh your memory, but just please don't read from it, okay? Now on that day, on August 22nd of 2023, were you dispatched to a home to take a report?
Yes.
Okay, and was that address 11635 Springmont Drive, San Antonio, Texas, 78249?
Yes.
Okay. And was that a residence, you said?
Yes.
And was it located in Bear County?
Yes.
Do you recall why you were dispatched to that address?
For an assault report.
Okay, and upon arrival at the scene, what did you do?
I made contact with Miss Tina and Pablo, and I took their statement for an incident that occurred several days prior.
Okay. And when you say several days prior, was that 2 days prior on August 20th, 2023?
On August 20th, around 2 a.m.
Okay. And so you said you met with Tina and Pablo, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, and as a patrol officer, what did you do on scene?
I listened to the outcry of what Tina and Pablo were saying and tried to determine if a crime had been committed, what crime that was, and then report it to the follow-up unit, the appropriate follow-up unit.
Okay. At some point during your investigation on the 22nd of August, 2023, did you come to know that there had been a previous report that was made on the actual date of the offense?
Yes.
Okay, and while you're on scene, did you have an opportunity to look into that?
Yes.
Okay. After doing that, you said that you were going to determine what offense to write up after conducting your investigation on scene and taking preliminary witness statements. What offense did you write a report for?
I wrote
I'm gonna object to relevance. His
Relevant.
determination of what assault
Oh, you can
occurred.
remain seated.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. It just makes it easier
yeah,
for
I
the court
forgot.
reporter to hear. All right, your objection is relevance. State.
Well, Judge, it's relevant, so that, well, going to the prior call, responding to Mr. Bloomquist's allegation in the opening statement that nobody was arrested, it goes to show the investigation that this officer conducted while on scene, and why it was sent to a follow-up unit.
All right, so if you could re-ask your question, please, and then I'll make a ruling.
So based on everything that you learned, what was the result of your investigation there at the home?
that there was a assault bodily injury charge.
And
All right, with
I object
regards
to-
to
I
his,
object to legal conclusions about the offense that would have been committed. And if I can take them to voir dire, just from the.
all right,
basis
with
that-
regards to the legal conclusion, the
Yes,
court was to
Judge.
sustain that.
So after taking the statement of Pablo and Tina, what did you do with the case?
I wrote up the report for 2 offenses, one with Tina as the victim and one with Pablo as the victim. I contacted a detective with the follow-up unit. And I researched the previous incident that had happened on the night of the incident.
Okay. And once the case is handed off to a follow-up unit, do you have any more involvement in it at all?
No.
Okay. We pass the witness, Your Honor.
Defense.
My name is Larry Bloomquist. I represent Mariano Rendon, the defendant. We've never met before today. Is that correct, officer?
Correct.
Okay. And during your part of the investigation, you never took a statement from my client Mariano Rendon or made any effort to do so?
Correct.
And you never made any effort to take a statement from Anthony Cochran, the security guard on duty at that time, is that correct?
Correct.
So the only version that you had was the version of the 2 people that came in and reported to you directly, correct?
Yes.
Okay. But obviously, in an investigation, you would want to have them take the statements of all people involved, correct?
If they were there, I would.
But you didn't make any effort to go take such statements, correct?
Correct. That's the detective's job.
All right, I'll pass it.
No further questions.
All right, is this witness excused or subject to recall?
He can be excused, Your Honor.
Excused.
All right, the rule has been invoked. You're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone except for attorneys for the state or the defense. All right, make sure you leave the microphone. And if you will give the exhibit to the court reporter, please. State, call your next witness.
The state calls Pablo Rodriguez.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, the next witness is a Spanish speaker. So that witness will have an interpreter. The interpreter is on the way down. You are to listen to the questions that are asked of him in English and the responses that come to you in the English language are going to be from the interpreter. If you speak Spanish, you are not allowed to do your own interpretation of what the witness is saying. The interpreter's rendition in English is what the witness is saying for purposes of you're receiving the evidence. Does everyone understand? So if you speak Spanish, do not interpret. It's the official interpreter for the court. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
All right. And I say it's the interpreter for the court, but it's the interpreter for all the courts, okay? All right, so they should be here in about 3 minutes. Does anyone need a break before they come down? All right, so just give us a moment and they'll be on their way. All right, we have an interpreter for this witness. If I could have the interpreter, if you could raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear? Yes, it's for the interpreter. Do you solemnly swear and affirm you will faithfully translate from English into Spanish and Spanish into English, so help you God?
I do.
All right, if you'll state your name for the record, please.
Your Honor, the interpreter's name is Jorge Valle.
All right, and do you need to have a seat or do you want to stand?
I can stand, Your Honor.
All right, state, call your witness.
State calls Pablo Rodriguez Salazar.
All right, if you can raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sí, es la verdad. ante
Yes, the
Dios.
truth.
All right, you can lower your hand. All right, state, you may proceed.
Mr. Rodriguez Salazar, how old are you currently?
Tengo 24 años. Ah, no,
I'm,
45 años.
I'm 24 years, no,
45.
45.
Okay. And what is your date of birth?
Es 1980.
1980,
Ujú.
And the month?
18 de agosto.
August the 18th.
Okay. Do you currently live in San Antonio, Texas?
Sí,
Yes,
How long have you lived in San Antonio, Texas?
como 6 años.
like 6 years.
Do you have a partner here that's in San Antonio, Texas?
Sí,
Yes,
Okay, and what is her name?
Tina Jiménez. Tina Jiménez.
Tina Jimenez.
Now I want to take you back to August, the night of August 19th, going into the morning of August 20th of 2023. Do you recall that day?
Sí,
Yes,
Were you doing anything special that day?
mi cumpleaños.
my birthday.
Okay. And what were you doing to celebrate your birthday?
Fui a comer
I went out to eat
y luego me fui al volcán.
and then I went to the
Del
Bocan
party, yeah, del party.
to a party.
So,
Okay. And where is El Volcan located?
en la Ingram,
On Ingram,
410.
410.
Okay. And is that in San Antonio, Texas?
Sí,
Yes,
In Bear County, Texas?
sí.
yes.
Okay. And so when you and Tina arrived to the Volcan, what were you all doing?
Estábamos, bueno, cuando fuimos al volcán, fuimos a bailar.
Well, we went to the Volcan, we went dancing
Ujú. Para mi cumpleaños.
for my birthday.
Okay. And while you were there, dancing at El Volcan, were you drinking any alcohol?
Sí, sí.
Yes, yes.
Do you recall what kind of alcohol you're drinking?
Como unos cuatro cervezas.
Like four beers.
Okay. And do you recall about what time you arrived there at El Volcan?
Como quiera llegué, como a las 11:20 por ahí más o menos.
Around at what time I got there, around 11:20, more or less.
Okay. And about how long did you stay there? Do you recall?
Las 11:30 hasta como a las 12:30. 2:30.
from 11:30 to
2:30.
2:30.
Okay. Now around the 2 AM, 2:30 mark, what happened with the security guards?
Pues me atacó. Que me atacó.
He attacked me.
Okay. Before that, what was the security guard doing in the local?
Recogía las cervezas.
He was picking up the beers.
Okay. Do you go to El Volcan a lot?
Sí, antes iba.
Yes, before I did.
Okay. And is that something that they would normally do at the last call?
Sí,
Yes,
Okay. And so when the security guard is going around, is he instructing everyone to throw their alcoholic beverages away? Is that correct?
sí,
yes, yes.
y lo di una tomada y ya fue lo que hice.
I took a sip. That's what I did.
Okay. I want to back up a little bit. Okay. So during the last call, the security guard's going around and he's instructing everyone to throw their alcoholic beverages away. Is that correct?
Sí, es correcto.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And then at some point, does the security guard come up to you?
Sí,
Yes,
Okay. And when the security guard came up to you, did he instruct you to do anything?
cuando le puse la cerveza a otro basurero,
when I put the beer in another garbage can,
no el que traía él, el que
not the
otro,
one he had, another one.
y la aventé y fue cuando me puchó.
And I threw it in, and that's when he pushed me.
Okay. So the security guard instructed you to throw away your beer. Is that correct?
Sí, sí, lo tiré.
Yes, I did throw it away.
Before throwing it away, did you do anything with it?
No, nomás la tiré a la basura.
No, I just threw it in the garbage.
Okay, before you threw it in the trash, did you take one last sip of it?
Sí, no,
Leading.
sí,
All right,
sí, la última porque
just 1 second. When one of the attorneys makes an objection, I need you to stop speaking.
Okay.
All right, so your objection to leading is sustained. All right, State, ask your next question.
Thank you. When the security guard told you to throw your beer away, did you immediately throw it away?
Objection leading.
Overruled.
la tiré.
I did throw it away.
Okay. And you said, did the security guard have 2 trash cans, or how many trash cans did the security
Bueno,
guard have?
Él tenía una y una estaba ahí a un lado.
Well, he had one, and there was another one to the side.
Okay. Which trash can did you throw your beer in?
La que no la que estaba a un lado.
The one that was to one side.
When you threw your beer away, what did the security guard do?
Apuchó a mi esposa y no me aventó al piso.
He pushed my wife, and then he threw me on the floor.
When you were on the floor, what did the security guard do to you?
Me estaba apretando y me estaba golpeando.
He was squeezing me, and he was hitting me.
When the security guard told you to throw your beer away, did you hit him?
No,
No,
ni lo toqué.
I did not even touch him.
Did you ever touch the security guard before you were on the ground?
No, nada.
No, nothing.
I'm going to show you what has been marked as state's exhibit number 2. Do you recognize what this is?
El video cuando
It's the video where
fue cuando me golpearon.
when they hit me.
Okay. And did you watch this video earlier today?
Sí, sí lo miré.
Yes, I did see it.
And did you sign this disc when you watched it?
Sí,
Yes,
And is that how you're able to recognize it's the same video that you watched
Sí.
¿De
earlier?
esta manera usted puede reconocer este video?
Okay.
Sí.
Yes, yes.
And when you watched
Cuando
it,
usted ve el video,
was it a true
¿Verdad?
depiction
una- mostraba
of
correctamente
what
de lo que
happened
pasó
on the offense
en
day?
Sí.
el delito. Yes.
Ujú.
Ajá.
And has it been changed in
¿Ha sido
any way?
cambiado de alguna manera?
No.
No.
I'm tendering state's exhibit number 2 to defense, and the state offers states 2.
This is the video you showed me earlier. We have no objection to state two.
All right, State's Exhibit number 2 is admitted without objection.
Permission to publish, Your Honor.
Granted.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, when you were on the floor with the security guard, well, what was the security guard doing to you?
¿Qué le estaba haciendo el guardia a usted?
Me estaba como apretando para no mover.
He was like, he was holding me tight so I couldn't move.
Okay. What, did he do anything regarding your face?
Hizo algo él en cuanto a su cara suya.
Sí, me pegó en la cara.
Yes, he hit me in the face.
Okay. What did you feel when he was hitting you in the face?
¿Qué sintió usted cuando él le pegó en la cara?
Siento como que me ardía.
I felt like it was a burning sensation.
Okay. And at some point while you were on the floor, did something happen with your stomach?
Pasó con su estómago, ¿sí?
Sí.
Yes,
Can you tell me what happened?
Que me pegaron con las rodillas.
that he hit me with the knee.
Pausing state's exhibit number 2, Mr. Rodriguez. The individual that is wearing a black shirt and some tactical pants,
Pantalones tácticos.
do you know who that is?
¿Usted sabe quién es?
Security.
Security.
Okay. And this individual with the jeans and the boots right here, who is that?
La persona con pantalón azul, ¿quién es?
Soy yo.
It's me.
I'm resuming state's exhibit number 2. I'm pausing state's exhibit number 2. Mr. Rodriguez, do you recognize this individual right here?
¿Usted reconoce este individuo aquí?
No. No, I didn't see.
I can't see.
I'm gonna play it a little bit.
Sí. Sí,
Yes,
Who is that individual?
el dueño del volcán.
the Volcan's owner.
Okay, and do you know the name of the owner of El Volcan?
¿El dueño del volcán?
No.
No.
Okay, but had you met him
Usted lo había conocido
prior
antes
to this offense?
de este delito.
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. It's been marked as state exhibit number 3.
La prueba de la fiscalía número 3.
Ujú.
Ajá.
Do you recognize what
¿Usted
this
reconoce
is?
qué es eso?
Es una foto que una vez me tomé afuera,
It's a photo that at one time I took outside.
Okay, outside.
pero
of what?
nunca
¿Afuera de dónde?
de fuera del volcán.
Outside the volcán.
Okay, and do you recognize the
Usted
individuals that are in this
Los
photo?
individuos que están aquí en la foto.
El dueño del volcán.
The volcán's owner.
Okay, and who else?
¿Y quién más está ahí?
Yo.
Me.
Ujú.
I'm tendering to defense for inspection and offering state exhibit 3.
All right, State's Exhibit number 3 is admitted without objection.
And Mr. Rodriguez, what do you do for work?
¿Qué se dedica usted? ¿Cómo se llama la vida?
Mecánico.
Mechanic.
Okay, and regarding state's exhibit number 3, regarding state's exhibit number 3,
La fiscalía número 3. La fiscalía número 3.
the owner of the Volcan,
Del volcán.
have you ever done any work for
¿Ha hecho
him?
trabajo para él?
Un motor hice una vez.
I did an engine for him one time,
Okay,
Pero nunca tuve amistad con él.
but I never had a friendship with him.
Sí lo conocía, pero nunca éramos like, amigos.
I did know him, but we
Amigos.
were never friends.
okay. And do you see that individual here in the courtroom today?
Ujú. Sí, ahí está.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Ujú.
Uh-huh.
Would you please point to him and identify him by an article of clothing that he's wearing?
¿Qué está vistiendo? What?
Can you please point to the person you recognize as the owner of the
Es el
volcán?
volcán.
And-
Y lo identifica con una prenda de vestir.
And can you say,
Puede decir.
can you describe an article of clothing that
La
he's
prenda de vestir
wearing?
que le está usando.
Como ahorita,
Like right now?
Yes.
pues con una camisa, con una chamarra como de estas, ¿cómo se llaman? Como cafecitas y de esta, ¿cómo se llama? Su camisa como color, no sé cómo te diría, como rayadita,
He's got like
como cuadradita.
a brown jacket and the shirt, I don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of like striped shirt.
Okay. I'm gonna publish State's Exhibit number 2 in its entirety. Mr. Rodriguez, do you recognize the female that is depicted on State's Exhibit number 2 right here in the black shorts?
Está usando la falda negra.
Sí,
Yes.
Who is that?
Es la persona.
Esperanza.
Esperanza.
Okay, and the male that is holding her, do you recognize that
Está
person?
agarrando.
Carlos,
Carlos,
And who is Carlos?
mi sobrino.
my nephew.
Now regarding that night, did you go to El Volcán with Esperanza and Carlos or no?
No,
No,
fui con mi señora nomás.
I just went with my
Como-
partner only.
Ajá. Luego llegaron ahí.
After that, they arrived.
Okay. And then at some point, did you all start hanging out with each other?
Se juntaron.
Sí, sí,
Yes,
estamos para
yes.
bailar y tomar una cervecilla, ¿no?
To dance and drink a few beers, that's it.
Okay. Now, Mr. Rodriguez, regarding that night, did you take a radio or anything from the security guard?
No,
No.
Now, after the events that we just saw depicted in State's Exhibit number 2 occurred, what happened?
no, cuando pasó, pues salí caminando,
Well, what happened? Well, I walked out.
Okay,
sin securities y nada.
¿Cómo?
Nomás sin securities. O sea, yo solo.
I walked out without security or anything. I walked out on my own.
okay. Once you were outside of El Volcán, did the police ever arrive?
Sí, sí llegó la policía.
Yes, the police arrived.
Were you able to speak with the police on that night?
Llegó la policía, pero mi esposa, mi señora que estoy junto con ella, ella habló con ellos.
The police arrived and my partner, the lady I'm with, she spoke to them.
Y Esperanza también,
Esperanza also
también.
Okay.
Esperanza.
And then after Esperanza and Tina spoke to the police, where did you go from El Volcán?
Me fui para mi casa.
I went home.
Once you were at home, did you notice if you had any injuries?
Sí. muchas.
Yes, a lot.
I'm going to show you a series of photographs. It's exhibit number 4, it's exhibit number 5, it's exhibit number 6,
Okay.
it's exhibit number 7, it's exhibit number 8. Have you seen these photos before?
Sí,
Yes.
And do you recognize the person that is in these photos?
Yes.
And are they a fair and accurate depiction of the person displayed in the photos?
ujú,
Uh-huh.
soy yo.
It's me.
At this time, just tendering states 4 through 9 to defense for inspection and offering states 4 through 9.
Right, States Exhibit 4 through 9 is admitted without objection.
Okay, Mr. Rodriguez, on states exhibit number 4, can you tell me what injuries were documented in states exhibit number 4?
Me golpearon en los ojos, en la cara.
They hit me in the face.
Okay, and if you see states exhibit number 4, what I'm pointing at, what does your eye look like right here?
Porque cuando me golpearon como que quebraron algo adentro.
Because when they hit me, it looks like they broke something inside.
Regarding states exhibit number 5, what color is your eye here?
Cuando me pegaban en el piso,
When they hit me on the floor,
What color is your eye right in states 5?
como morado.
like purple.
On states exhibit number 6, do you see any injuries depicted in states exhibit number 6?
Cuando como que me agarraban como trae una cadena de oro.
When
Como que,
they,
como que no sé si la jalaban o algo así.
when they grabbed me, since I had a gold chain, I don't know if they pulled that on that or not.
In states exhibit number 7, do you observe any injury depicted here?
Yo creo que creo que cuando estaba yo en el piso, como que me querían, no sé, como que me querían forzar, o no sé.
Like
algo así.
I was on the floor, it looks like they wanted to force themselves up on me, something like that.
And states exhibit number 8, what is going on with your hands?
Nada, no hice nada. O sea, no,
Nothing,
están limpias.
they're clean.
And states exhibit number 9, what is that?
Era cuando me agarraban como con la cadena, como cuando me la jalaban o algo
Like
así.
they grabbed me from this chain, like they pulled it or something.
Now, when you got home from Alwakan, besides the injuries that we just saw, what else happened to you?
Yo cuando fui a mi casa, yo cuando pasó todo, ya fui para mi casa y me fui a
When I got home, I just went home and
y tomé fotos de mis manos y de todo, que yo no me había peleado con nadie de
and I
ellos.
took photos of everything, my hands and everything, showing that I did not fight anybody.
Did you go anywhere from your home after that?
No,
No,
no.
no.
At some point, did you get sick?
Además sentía muchos golpes, mucho como dolor.
Oh, I just felt like a lot of blows, like a lot of pain.
Okay. And regarding your stomach, what happened with your stomach?
Empecé como a sentir dolor.
I felt like starting to feel pain.
Okay. Did you have anything that was happening to you that caused you to go to the hospital?
Sí,
Yes,
What happened?
vomitaba verde.
I was vomiting green.
Okay. Did you go to the hospital?
Yes, sí.
Yes, yes.
And at the hospital, what were you treated for?
Para operarme. Para calmar el dolor y luego operarme.
To calm the pain and then afterwards to operate on me.
And about how many surgeries did you or operations did you have to have?
2.
2.
And what location of the body were those operations?
Por un ladito de aquí.
To one side over here.
Can you name the body part, please?
I'm sorry.
Can you please like name the body part of the operation?
Debajo de mis intestinos.
It's my intestines.
Okay. How long did you have to stay in the hospital?
Un mes.
1 month.
Okay. And once you were released from the hospital, did you speak with detectives for this case?
Sí.
Yes.
We passed the witness here.
Defense.
Mr. Rodriguez, you and I have never met before today, is that correct?
Correcto.
Correct.
I represent Mariano Rendon. Let me ask you some questions. So where were you said you went to eat prior to going to the restaurant, correct? Or going to the Joe's Volcano?
Sí,
Yes,
Where did you eat?
¿dónde comió?
comí en Tequila
I ate at Tequila
Restaurant.
Restaurant.
What did you eat there?
¿Qué comió ahí?
Comí un plato
I had a plate of
de
Ah.
fajitas.
fajitas.
And did you drink alcohol at that place?
¿Tomó lugar en ese lugar?
Eh,
¿No tomó alcohol?
No más una.
Just one.
And who was all with you at that restaurant?
Estaba con usted en el restaurante.
Mi esposa,
My wife.
And your wife's name?
¿Cómo se llama su esposa?
no, ella no toma.
No, she does not drink.
I'm asking you what her name is.
¿Cuál es el nombre de ella?
El nombre,
Her name?
Tina Jiménez.
Tina Jimenez.
Was anybody else with you and Tina there at
¿Alguien
the
más estaba con
tequila
Tina
restaurant?
en ese restaurante?
No,
No,
Had you made arrangements to meet anybody at Joe's Volcano?
para juntarse con alguien en el volcán.
no, nomás llegaron ellos.
No, they just arrived.
How often had you visited Joe's Volcano at times prior to this?
¿Qué tantas veces había usted ido a Joe Volcano's antes de esta fecha?
Antes iba casi cada 8 días
Before, I used to go every 8 days
para bailar nomás.
just to dance.
Okay. And did you like going there? Was it a good place to dance?
Ir ahí, era buen lugar para bailar.
Sí,
Yes,
And I want to turn your attention to the night that you got there. When you arrived at Joe's Volcano, did you meet with some other people?
Cuando usted llegó ahí, usted se juntó con otra gente ahí.
nomás con mi sobrino y mi la Esperanza. So,
Just with my nephew and this Esperanza.
And your nephew is Carlos Rodriguez, correct?
Su sobrino es Carlos Rodríguez, correcto.
sí,
Yes,
And where does Carlos live?
¿a dónde vive Carlos?
la verdad no sé dónde vive, pero
I
no,
honestly,
no tengo la dirección.
honestly do not know where he lives. I do not have the address.
Not the specific address. What city does he live in?
No la dirección específica. ¿En qué ciudad vive?
No, aquí en San Antonio.
Here in San Antonio.
And how is is Esmeralda his girlfriend?
¿Y Esmeralda es la novia de él?
Sí,
Yes.
And where did you meet them? Before you went in the club or inside?
Antes de entrar al club o ya adentro.
adentro.
Inside.
Ellos llegaron.
They arrived.
And where does Esmeralda live?
¿Dónde vive Esmeralda?
Vive con aquí en San Antonio.
She lives with right here in San Antonio.
While you're in the bar, you were drinking, correct?
Como en el bar.
What do you mean the bar?
Inside the bar, inside Joe's Volcano, you were drinking beer, correct?
Dentro de Joe's Volcano.
No, nomás lo compré y me senté como una barrita así, chiquita así.
I just bought it and sat down on like a little bar on the side.
Right. I'm not asking you where, but I'm just saying you were drinking beer at the bar.
Sí,
Yes.
sí.
How many
Yes.
beers did you have while you were at Joe's Volcano?
No hay como unas 3 o 4.
Like 3 or 4.
Do you remember telling an officer
No.
No.
Did you just listen to my question? I haven't finished. Do you remember telling Officer Daniel Grossi that you had 5 drinks?
Sí.
Yes.
So at last call, Anthony Cochran and another gentleman come up to you, and the other gentleman is holding a trash can, correct?
Sí.
Yes.
And they're collecting alcohol,
Sí.
Yes.
and you knew that they did this routinely because you had been there. You mentioned earlier that you'd been there other nights when they collected alcohol at 2 a.m.
Sí.
Yes. Yes.
And you understand that the bars have to follow certain rules and
Sí.
regulations about when somebody can and can't drink, correct?
Sí, correcto.
Yes, correct.
And the fact is that Mr. Cochran and this other gentleman asked you to put your beer into the trash can, correct?
Sí,
Yes,
sí lo tiré.
I did throw it away.
What kind of beer were you drinking? What,
Modelo.
Modelo.
and that Modelo was in a glass bottle, correct?
Sí,
Yes,
And the fact is that Mr. Cochran had actually asked you repeatedly to put the bottle in the trash can, isn't that correct?
cuando me dijo, nomás le di una tomada y ya la dejé en otro basurero.
when he told me, I just took one sip and then threw it away in another trash can.
Okay, why didn't you throw it in the trash can right where, they had right in front of you?
Porque estaba a un lado del otro basurero y lo tiré.
Because I was next to another trash can where I threw it away.
And you didn't just place the bottle in there, isn't it correct that you slammed the bottle into the bottle?
No, nomás la aventé así.
No, I just threw
Cayó.
it like this.
All right, could I have parties approach?